Live. Hi everyone, welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting of the 29th of September, November, sorry, 29th of November 2023. I can do typos at even when speaking, incredible. So we have a packed agenda today. We also have quite a lot of collaborators, and this is a new time because we change times, right? So this is the first time we meet at this slot, which is 1 p.m. UTC, which, you know, new stuff, new time, whatever. If you have been following us, that's it. Cool. So first thing, are there any announcements? There's
one. Node.js 21.3 was supposed to be released today, but we found some bugs, so possibly this will be postponed to tomorrow.
Okay, so Node.js with 21.3 postponed because of bugs. Okay, great. Bugs are great. Better fixing them before we ship. Cool stuff. I also want to make another announcement that the new version of Node 18. So there's Michael has prepared a new version of Node 18, and that will ship the new ESM module loaders. So and if you're watching and don't know exactly the new off-thread module loader, same as is Node 20 and 20 and 21. Okay, this is important because this makes it all supported lines being the same. It also can be a cause of breakages in the wild. So if you're using loaders, you keep that in mind.
Yeah, especially if you're using TS Node, you probably have to change how you load it. Because some of the ways that can be used don't work anymore. Also, I would like to say that this is a big release with more than 300 commits, and nobody has looked or has commented on the proposal yet. So if I don't see any comments today, I will not make the release today. I would like at least thumbs up on it.
Last time Michael, last time I tried to open it on I tried to open it on mobile, it crashed Chrome.
That doesn't surprise me.
How big it is, and I tried to open it on GitHub, but it didn't load, or did that huge problem in loading. I don't know, it was on a low bandwidth, so I will try again. So I didn't tell GTM, mostly because it was actually a massive PR. Just to give you a hint, folks, that you're watching, the pull request in question as 120,000 lines added and 83,000 lines removed in there.
Well, there are a lot of ESLint updates, so that's not really, that's not really source code changes for the node binary. But yeah, it's still a lot of commits.
And 364 commits, so come on.
And it's probably the last large release of 18 because it's in maintenance now, so the next releases will be much smaller.
Usually security ones.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we ship. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Great. Things of note between CPC and board meeting. I think the important part is the community fund, or AKA the travel fund, has not been extended by the board. In 2023. The reason being there were a few other money expenditures that essentially were higher than expected, and essentially there is no buffer left in between September or October. So that is essentially the TLDR. But if there are specific things that you need to travel to, or you said you would travel to and you have problem in sourcing the funds to do that, please contact the CPC, open the request anyway, because the board has said that we'll evaluate on a case-by-case basis what to do. Hopefully, this is helpful if people need to travel. Great. We have a few issues open on Node.js Node. Is there anything else from the CPC and board meeting? No? Okay, great. Let's start with the issues 50672, use Biome as formatter. And I think this was added by Yagith. So Yagith, would you like to speak?
Yes. So a couple of weeks ago, I proposed adding Biome because currently Node.js doesn't have a formatter. We have several formatting rules, but they are extremely loose, which produces non-deterministic outputs and doesn't fix indentation, function ordering, and so on and so forth. Biome right now is 96% compliant with pre-tier. This means that we are not adopting Biome, we are adopting pre-tier as a formatter right now. That's my proposal. There are some concerns about binary size and so on and so forth, but I think that those can be resolved. The main question that we as TSC should make a decision about is whether or not we want to introduce a formatter in just the JavaScript and the JSON codes of Node.js repository. And we have several discussions around it, and there doesn't seem to be a consensus towards it. That's why it's on the TSC agenda.
Okay.
Could you maybe summarize what's the blocking?
Joey, as this ends up.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mentioned in the thread that we should, if we want to introduce a formatter, we should introduce something that's like quitclaim format that can just format diffs, and you, whenever you add a new pull request, you format your div, and like bit by bit, you kind of format the whole code base as you add things or touch things, instead of like formatting the whole code base, because otherwise it will make backport much harder. And I think so far Biome does not support that kind of, like, the way we can use it, it does not support that kind of incremental div formatting.
So regarding missing features, I'm pretty sure we can resolve those missing features, which are right now diff-based formatting, which means that we want to incrementally adopt a new formatter. Biome doesn't support it right now, but it can be implemented if we are okay with adding Biome. The second major issue that was raised was the binary size, because Biome is a Rust application, Rust CLI, and because of that, because we don't have Rust tooling, I basically added the binary files for 3 major operating systems on 2 different architectures, which means that there are several architectures such as SmartOS and so on, or AEX, that doesn't have Biome's executable. This can be resolved with WebAssembly solutions. I talked with Biome team, and they're willing to do and help us if we are aligned with using Biome. So this can be resolved as well. Or we can basically add biome as a dependency to Node core utils and installed it on, and not included in the Node repository, but enforce it through GitHub Actions. A similar approach, we also take a similar approach with the CPP code as well. If you run make format CPP, if the CLang format is not installed, we run the script and install it through a Node module.
Yeah, I think we can just make it something that like the claim format that we use. We don't check into the source tree. We just, whenever you need to run it, you install it and run it. And I don't think we even need to have a GitHub action to like automatically format it, because it still needs human verification, I guess. Like if someone is up for building a automation for like going to having a back and forth, like the bot asks you, do you want to format? And you, I don't know, tell you something and you format it, that would be good. But automatic formatting probably would not be ideal, because you still need someone to verify the formatting is correct. And it does not have some kind of weird bug that actually alter the behavior when you format. And we also learned that if you format JavaScript, sometimes there could be weird GC bugs creeping in. We learned that in one of those very old bugs in Node. So I think it still needs some human verification, and the CI still needs to run on the formatted code, instead of like you run the CI and you think everything is okay, and then you format and then you commit without running CI on the formatted code first. But that's like a follow-up. There's some automation that can be done later. But yeah, I think the not being able to incrementally format is a deal breaker for me. I think we could add any kind of JavaScript formatter, but the prerequisite is that it needs to support incremental formatting. Otherwise, formatting everything at one go would just make things a lot harder.
A question, because I'm a little confused. Is there, any objections that we don't think we can resolve? Because if all the objections so far is something we think we can resolve, then I think we should just continue on this in the PR.
There were in the PR open, there were objections
There are two
by
TC
Thomas
members.
on the bit binary size, and by Richard Lau on the binary size.
Yeah,
so I would say that the binary.
For me, it was the binary
Sorry,
size.
Richard?
Yeah, for me, it was the binary size. And from what's been discussed here, if we're not checking in those binaries, then yeah, that would resolve my objection.
So, I have one question for Yagith, so maybe it's clear or not clear. I don't know. Is the formatter, so we will keep the ESLint as it is and the linting as it is, and we use Biome only for formatting?
Yes, for now, yes. But my so I did a similar thing with Sentry as well. Moving costly ESLint rules, not custom ones, but costly ones, to Biome reduces the linter execution, the ESLint execution speed significantly. So in the future, we can move certain rules to Biome and keep the custom rules in ESLint, because that's one of the limitations of Biome's linter. It doesn't support custom rules. But this doesn't have to be like this. We can just use only formatter using Biome and keep ESLint configuration as it is right now.
So I would say, okay, let me write this thing down. Just a second. Does Biome support move ESLint? Yagith, no. Okay. Okay. To be honest, I don't think as long as it's, I think the main objection is on the binary size on the PR. So I would say it's not, everything is fine. I would not add it as a dependency to NCU, but if there is, I don't know, some ways we can get it from NPX or whatever other technique that we can just format stuff with the diff base, as Joey said. I don't think there is any objection. There's no object if those two things that were mentioned can be resolved. I don't think there is any objection. I would, to be honest, I would not even try to include it as a WASM dependency in the tree. I will try to keep it completely off our tree. So, but that's my 2 cents.
Then how do you propose we install Biome on
NPX?
development machines through NPX? Okay.
NPX, we just recall it via NPX. I don't know. Joey?
We can just install it the way we install claim format, which is like you run a make target and install it.
Fine.
Okay. One small quick question. Client format, how does it handle version updates? Because if Biome can technically fix an issue in the formatter, and upon that upgrade script or diff, the code needs to be updated in order for the formatter CI to pass as well.
You just fix the version in a package.json. That's what we do for client format.
Okay.
You fix a specific version. You do not even fix the major version. You just fix one version.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, I think this is resolved. Can move forward. I will remove the TSC agenda from the issue, and then we can chat about it later if we can resolve the stuff, the objections. But it seems there is a path forward. Cool. So next issue is issue 50488 on the Node.js Node project, which is move deprecated utils to runtime deprecation. And I think this landed, so, and it was removed from the TSC agenda. So this is not landed. Yeah, perfect. Then is issue 49344, my old friend Node, the envar node _v8 _ coverage in emitter causes process to hang. I took the liberty of pinging Benjamin Coe on this, and it seems that it seems that there seems some agreement between him and Isaacs that it's a problem on the V8 side related to source maps and in the finalization registry. So we'll see, essentially, on this topic. There is nothing much to say. Right now, I will actually remove it from the TSC agenda. There's no need to talk about it anymore. Let's see if we can make some progress. Cool. There is, I think we are already running the new meetings, right, folks?
I think so, yeah.
But there was a discussion on...
Well, the agenda, it shows a few more items like meeting times, flex test detection, mascot, and so on.
No, I mean on the I'm just checking the meeting agenda. I think the meeting times. The meeting times is I don't know.
I think that's still being discussed.
Okay.
I think there are proposed times, but there is some discussion about whether one of the slots moves around or whether it just stays fixed one of the 3 possible times.
Okay.
So
fine. Yeah. Because there was one, so there seems to be another change on whatever. I don't know. I'm happy for both of this. So anyway, it's great. I don't think, is there anything that we need to mention on this topic? Cool. Okay. Maybe. There is some concern from Geoffrey, so let's see how the discussion were resolved. Okay. Anyway, then we have the discussion about the TS issues 1458 on the Node.js TSC repo, which is automating detection, automating flaky test detection from Sid Dange of Build Pulse. This was put on the TSC agenda by Yagith on October 24th. Is there something that we need to discuss, Yagith?
Not at the moment.
Yagith is not here anymore. Oh, no, he's here.
I'm here. I'm here. So I was reached out by Sid. Let me summarize the whole issue.
Okay.
About fixing and trying to identify the flaky tests much more easily by using build pulse. I recommended Sid to create an issue on the TSC repository to have a broader discussion about this. And I think they're just waiting for an overall consensus or an overall response from us to open a PR and implement it. This might require some sort of organizational access or permissions, which I don't know how to proceed. That's why it was on TSC agenda. And if you want to have a third-party service to access and report our failures to there. This also comes with limitation, which was not publicly mentioned in the issue, is that BuildPulse has a monthly error reporting limitation for open source projects, and my concern was that we could easily bypass that limitation because of the size and the impact of Node.
Richard?
Yeah, do we know or do we have any concerns about like security releases? So when we lock all the CI down and everything, whether there's a possibility we'll be leaking data through to a third party while we're trying to build and test the security releases when everything's supposed to be, pre-disclosure. That would be one of my concerns with adding third-party things to the regular sort of test workflows.
Really?
I think we can just disable that, or like, do not give them the permission to look into CI release CIs.
Well, it's not the release CI; it's on the test CI. So,
right.
When we lock the test CI down, we remove access to Jenkins. But my concern will be however we integrate the reporting, whether the reporting would still be reporting things through to a third party. Whether that is a real problem or a theoretical problem, I don't know whether it's been thought out. That's my only concern here.
Maybe to be safe, we can somehow either turn off the detection on their side or on our side, maybe via some Jenkins configuration or something, so that it's not going to be reported to them for the security tests.
Yeah, I guess my other concern about Jenkins is the complexity, because we have a lot of jobs that are run on every PR, and whether we are going to be reporting all of those platforms. I mean, I guess in terms of flakes, we have flakes everywhere. So the benefit would be to run it everywhere, but then that means that's a lot of jobs to be edited, unless it's wholly within like the make files, as in the changes. But I presume there's something that either needs to be installed or some URL that needs to be contacted to actually upload results to.
I think what they need is uploading. We already have the tab to unit thing installed, and it will generate a JUnit XML. What they need is like sending that XML to their server. So probably would not be too complicated, just like one extra step in the Jenkins configuration. So they'll need to figure out how to do that in a safe way. But if they can do that, that's not really something we can we need to be concerned about. I guess the only question I have is I don't think we have a lot of problem detecting flaky tests. We already have something that can detect. The problem is nobody fixed them. That's the main issue. And I guess I wouldn't mind adding an extra third-party service to like aggregate the results, even though from what they're how they describe it, I think what they have, we already have. The information we already have. We just don't have people taking care of these flakes. But I wouldn't mind adding, like, if they are up for writing the Jenkins config integration to like upload data to the server, then I would not mind like adding a third-party thing to just like have one more way to look at the flaky tests, provided someone look at them. But
well, it would probably need someone from build, or at least has Jenkins edit access to sponsor the work, because it will require access to edit the jobs, all of the jobs that need to do the uploading. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to block it, but I have concerns. That's all. More sort of, you know, who's looking after this from our side, because anything we integrate into the build flows, if it ever breaks, that requires someone to investigate and fix up, whether it's disabling, you know, the thing temporarily or actually debugging the problems. So yeah.
I'm under the impression that all the Jenkins configuration are checked into the build repo somehow. Oh,
no,
okay.
They're not. So
maybe that was like, is that like a post fact thing, or it's just like not done at all?
At one point we toyed around with pipelines, but people objected to pipelines in Jenkins. They didn't like the UI and stuff. That was a long time ago. I mean, we could possibly revisit that, but at the moment, the configs are just stored in Jenkins. We back them up, but they're not live editable. So, you know, it's not like there's a Git repository you can edit the XML in, and then we reload all of Jenkins. So yeah, the short answer is no. They're not. Most of the jobs are not not in source control. That they are just all sitting on the Jenkins server.
Can we do something similar to what we do for the benchmark CI, in that we pull a script from some repo and they can submit pull requests to that script, and what the job adds is it will pull a
Everything is
script and run that
possible
script.
if people are willing to have access, if people were willing to find someone with access to do the work.
Yeah.
In terms of most of the builds, I mean, most of the builds are running make targets from our make file. So if you can integrate something into our make scripts,
Right.
then that will be a lot simpler.
Oh yeah.
Not you personally, but you know, whoever is proposing the change. If you can do something that, you know, people can run on the command line, like with the existing Node.js node, and okay, maybe you need an environment variable or some sort of, you know, access token that needs to be set. That would still need some Jenkins access, but the less additional steps you need to do that are not already in the main sort of make some test target or whatever target in the make file, the easier it would be.
Richard,
I think we can.
Oh, go ahead, Joy.
I think we can move this to the build repo at this point to discuss the specifics and help them out, but probably not a part of the TSC plate anymore.
Robert, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, if it goes back to the build, it's fine. I was just mostly curious, what is the problem we're trying to solve with this flaky test detection? Because we already know there's a lot of flaky tests, but nobody actually does anything about them, or very few people. So I'm not quite sure what this automatic detection actually helps in the long run with. I think we need to solve the issue of getting flaky tests fixed before we start detecting more flaky tests. But that was just an observation.
Yeah, Ethan, you have any comment on this? You were the one proposing this change.
I think what we currently lack is the motivation to solve those issues. And my idea of build polls is that it will give us that little push to motivate ourselves to look, and a fancy UI or a new website or something like personally motivates me. This might not be the same for everybody, but I don't know. It's worth trying, better than doing nothing. That's my 2 cents on this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, currently our reliability repo has 695 issues open.
That's
because
never close
we
anything.
yeah, we just don't close them. We open an issue every day and we don't close them. Because they're not closable. They're just reports.
We can
sometimes
close,
it's fine.
we can close them. We can have some automation to close them. It's just if we bulk close like 600 issues now, that's a lot of notifications for everyone.
Or it doesn't really make any difference because they're just there. You usually do not reply. You just read. That's all.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about this repo, if we can do something to help GitHub maybe, because sometimes it feels like their servers are struggling when you open the issue tab or when you search in this repo.
I think one thing that can be done is to open pull requests. I have a bot that open pull requests to the repo instead of posting them as issues. So that it's easier to search because you can just search the repo, but we need some script to for all those to mark down documents that can check into the repo, and then just haven't never gotten around to it. If anyone is up to like converting the GitHub action from opening issue to sending pull requests containing markdown documents to check that into the repo, then go for it.
Yeah, maybe we should move on if we're gonna have time for the private section also.
Yeah, let's okay, let's move on. I think the outcome for this is to move to the build repo. Okay, I'm going to move it now. Yeah, transfer by this agenda moves on the plate on the build working group. Okay, not mine. Great. Then we have a few issues on Node admin. The first one is have a mascot, and we have been discussing this back and forth. I think you, the TSC folks, are voting or deciding on this on the designs. If you have any questions, you can go to Kylie. I have my favorites, but I'm not going to tell you. And I hope you all vote. And I want to thank everybody that has been participating in this challenge. The next issue is issue 826 of the admin repo. Create a socket admin repo. Oh, hello, folks.
Yeah.
Am I still there?
Yes.
Yes,
Hello.
We can hear you.
we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Okay. Create a Node.js socket repository And here it is. And these from September 8 from Ethan Arwood. There was a discussion on October 11. Premature to pull in the Node.js repository yet. And I don't think there is anything left to discuss. I don't know. I think it seems to me that we were waiting to know if this will become the API from WinterCG and so on, if I understand correctly. Does anybody know the state of this? No? Yes?
Yeah, WinterCG is seeking for a standard body to establish the process to publish standards. So I'm not sure if this would be a blocker to create a Node.js socket repository to experiment the implementation of socket API, since we can say that it's still under experimental and we are not it's not ready for production ready. So I'm not sure this would be a blocker for creating a repository for the API.
Yes. Okay. So there was an objection, slight objection from Tobias that would recommend to not use Node.js dash socket if this was not the standard. I would say that we can create the repository as WinterCG dash socket, and that will be a good thing. And then we can decide later on.
Yeah, it seems it seems that it will make more sense for this to be WinterCG socket, and they have implementation on different platforms before they have something like moving to Node, because this is ultimately like a work in progress WinterCG thing. It probably make more sense to move that to WinterCG.
So you are suggesting that creating an implementation under the organization of WinterCG and publish it.
Yeah, just that it's more like for now it's more like a work in progress WinterCG thing. So it probably make more sense to put that under WinterCG instead of putting it under Node.
Well, because the implementation is going to be used on Node, not other runtimes like Dino or Bound. So that's the initial idea that creating the repository under the name of Node.js. But
Because
yeah, creating the repository under the name of WinterCG can be an option. And maybe we can comment on the issue to propose the alternative.
Yeah, sounds good. Because historically, this is more like a polyfill for a work in progress center. I think historically we put polyfills. Polyfills usually are put in where the standards is developed. If they are looking into creating a standard polyfill.
Yeah, we can discuss on the issue. And I think this can be a good alternative.
Yeah, I think Joey, I think the proposal makes sense for me. Would you mind to put it comment it in the issue, and then we can move forward in this way?
Okay.
Okay, next issue is issue 814 of the admin report. Collaborator summits for next year, 2024. Currently, we have a working hypothesis. Joey and myself have been working on an hypothesis of running the Collaborator Summit before or after CityJS London, which ideally before right now. So the idea is having it before CityJS on the 3rd and 4th of April in London, hosted at one of the foundation members. We are making progress. I think it's a real possibility now. So, and everybody seems very positive, both at CityJS and the member organization. So we will probably schedule a private meeting to discuss details before announcing and so on and so forth. But if anybody thinks that there's a major objection in doing this, in having this plan, please let us know. Great. I think we're going to skip the strategic initiatives because we have some private business to talk about.
I just have a quick one, which is not on the agenda. I'll post it in.
Go for it, Robert.
Chat just quickly. So I'm not quite sure what to do with this one. We have at our production servers noticed that Node.js will write corrupted files and read on certain environments. It seems to be related to IORing and libuv. And I think that's pretty bad. And I would like to add some visibility to this issue and maybe recommend that we are more conservative with enabling IORing.
Have you had an opportunity to test with the new version of libuv? So there's a libuv update PR 1470. Sorry, the libuv 1470. It's currently blocked because it failed to compile on one of our on AX, but libuv, IBM has fixed the AX build in libuv upstream. There just hasn't been a new libuv version for it, but it has changes to it. It restricts more of the kernel versions that IOUring is enabled on. So it may, it may exclude whatever production systems you're running on.
Excellent. Could you please write that?
That's just a suggestion.
Could you write that on the issue, please? And I mostly wanted to raise it for awareness here. And if I can get a newer node build with a newer libuv, I'm happy to try it. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you post the issue somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
I'm not seeing it.
I managed to send it directly to Michael. How do you host and panelists here? Here we go.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Okay. Perfect. I will say that we have some private business, so we're going to talk about that. And I will thank everybody for watching the live stream of the Node.js Tech Steering Committee meeting. Please check out our calendar for upcoming meetings, so nodejs.org/calendar if you want to follow us live, or our recording will always be on YouTube.